Khwaja, both sides have been making statements, and Afghan side claims that several Pakistani post and soldiers have been killed and have been captured, to which Pakistan denies. However, it is now saying that over 130 of Afghan Taliban, even when it comes to the information minister there, they have been claiming that more than 200 of them have been injured and over 130 of them have been killed.
Well, Amita, there are claims versus counterclaims. What is confirmed? Confirmation is that there were offensives that were launched by the Afghan forces along the Durand Line, and there are airstrikes that have been independently verified in the area of Kandahar, in Kabul, and other one or two locations in Afghanistan. The casualties on both the sides are unconfirmed, while Afghanistan say that they have killed at least 50 Pakistani soldiers, captured at least 15 of their posts in various areas. Pakistan denies the claim. Pakistan says that this airstrike resulted in at least 100 getting injured and over 130 getting killed. Afghanistan says no such casualty has been reported. There are claims and counterclaims. There is a narrative war also going on. But yes, the situation on Durand Line is volatile. Both the sides are going after each other wherever and whoever on both the sides have a better setup, they are going after. Pakistan claims that they have hit a brigade headquarters, two brigade headquarters, a brigade headquarter ammunition dump, a fuel dump, a logistic base of Afghan army, but Afghanistan has not yet confirmed any such attack from Pakistan, and they say that yes, there were bombings that have been reported in Kandahar as well as Kabul, but the impact of it is still unknown. So we'll have to wait from both the sides to get a confirmation how things have unfolded overnight. Remember, this started after...
Major General S. Thakran is also connected with us. Sir, good morning. How do you believe that these escalating tensions with Afghanistan and Pakistan seems to be now warning of a decisive action, sir, with this kind of airstrikes that have been carried out?
See, Afghanistan wouldn't have retaliated with an airstrike because formally it doesn't have an air force, to tell you. And the kind of air defense that Pakistan has, so there is no airstrikes that could have happened. It would have been some kind of a guerrilla warfare which Afghanistan would have got involved in, because even their army is not potent enough to handle something that or match that of Pakistan. What I've been given to understand from our discussions and our inferences is that some posts probably around Khyber Pakhtunkhwa or the Northwest Frontier province could have been captured. And Afghanistan is well known to carry out these kind of attacks because the Taliban were trained by Pakistan. They operate the same terrorist modus operandi, and then that is what they would have done. Because, see, they don't fear death. They are trained to be like that. And since Pakistan has gone and bombed and caused significant damages, it would have enraged them, and they have started retaliating. And this is not going to go well, because if once this form of guerrilla warfare starts, then with Pakistan being kept on the toes on the Baluchi front and now Afghanistan opening another front, their life will be made miserable.
No, absolutely. Wing Commander, agree with you, and apologies for your name was incorrectly taken. But this seems to be, as far as Pakistani armed forces, as they believe that they are giving a strong response to Afghanistan, because this seems to be this development that is now taking place. Thank you very much for your point of view, because as we talk about the escalating tensions with Afghanistan, Pakistan now seems to be warning of decisive action. Now it says that Pakistan's patience has now reached its limit, and this is a message now coming in from the Pakistani armed forces of what they believe that they're now giving a strong and a befitting response to the Afghan forces. So this is Khwaja Asif, who seems to be accusing Taliban of turning Afghanistan into India's proxy, and Pakistan is now warning of decisive action amid escalating tensions with Afghanistan. Now, Khwaja Asif says that the Pakistani armed forces are giving a strong response to cross-border aggression, and however, has now been saying with this shift from diplomacy to open confrontation, as Pakistani defense minister says that regional stability seems to have been undermined, and now there will be decisive action, as now he seems to be warning of escalating border crisis, and now saying that after the withdrawal from the NATO forces, it was expected that there would be peace in Afghanistan and Taliban would focus on the interest of the Afghan people and the peace in the region. However, Taliban turned Afghanistan into a colony of India, and they have gathered all the terrorists of the world in Afghanistan and began exporting terrorism. They deprived their own people of basic human rights. They snatched away the rights that Islam grants to women, and Pakistan has made every effort to keep the situation normal through direct means and through friendly countries, but it is engaged in full-fledged diplomacy. But Taliban has now become a proxy for India. How and where does, Srinjoy, as far as India come between this? Because it seems that this is an old record that Pakistan seems to be playing as far as India excuses concerned of its own failures.
Well, how can Afghanistan or Taliban-led Afghanistan be a proxy? Let's not forget that India officially doesn't even recognize the Taliban. So, that's something that Pakistan has to keep in mind. So India's proxy cannot be Afghanistan. That's one. India has helped Afghanistan, the Taliban. Primarily, it has been humanitarian aid, food, medicines, that kind of thing. Besides, only very, very recently have there been an exchange of diplomats and also senior political officials. So till very recently, India and the Taliban-led Afghanistan didn't even have working ambassadors in each other's countries. That's the first thing. Besides, India has no military links with the Taliban. About that, there is it's very clear that there isn't. The point is, the Afghans inherited lots and lots of weapons, including some very good weaponry, modern weaponry that the Americans left behind and the earlier government left behind. So as a result, the Taliban is well armed. Now, of course, they may not have a crack air force, but the point is that they can give enough trouble to the Pakistanis because they know the area, they have fought in these areas, and they know Khyber Pakhtunkhwa very well. Both sides of the Durand Line. They've been this side, they've been that side. They were with the Pakistani army. Now they are against the Pakistani army. So this is primarily a problem that Pakistan will find difficult, because you have the Afghans on one side, you have very angry Baluchis who feel that they have been troubled by Islamabad and Rawalpindi on the other side, and other parts of Pakistan.
Well, because internal unrest has been brewing within Pakistan there, and as far as when it comes to the failure on part of the Pakistani government and its army is something that is now coming out in this manner, in this way, where there have been violent protests and clashes within, and of course when it comes to these border clashes and the tensions that have now escalated along the border with Afghanistan, because Islamabad has now declared an open war on Afghan Taliban government following renewed clashes along the shared border between Afghanistan and Pakistan. But as far as when it comes to reports are now concerned coming in from both sides, they now seems to be suggesting, as far as Afghanistan is concerned, claiming the capture of Pakistani military posts. They have been saying that several Pakistani military posts that have now been captured. This is a big statement by the Taliban spokesperson, and saying that dozens of Pakistani soldiers have also been killed. Now, this is an unverified claim, because Pakistan already seems to be dismissing and denying any claims of their soldiers having been killed or their posts having been occupied or damaged and destroyed by the Afghan forces. So Hamdullah Fitrat is of the point of view that the major headquarters of Pakistani regime are located at the Ansars are under the Babrak post in Alisher Terezi district of Khost province has just been captured. Dozens of soldiers are killed and wounded, and a large quantity of weapons have fallen in the hands of the Afghan forces. However, it is still unclear as far as when it comes to the situation on ground is concerned, because this seems to be a counter airstrikes on part of Pakistani side that has been carried out in several cities of Afghanistan as well. But there have been claims that have been made from both sides of heavy losses and damages that has been incurred. Well, that claim, however, still remains unconfirmed and unverified. We'll get you more. The situation seems to be developing. Back after a short break. You're watching Times Now.